Good evening, everyone. I'd like to call the October 26, 2023 Parks, Recreation and Community Service Commission regular meeting to order at 5:39. This meeting is taking place entirely in person in the City Council chambers. The public is accessing the meeting via the Santana YouTube channel, the city's website, or they're here in person. Please bear with us as the technology may disrupt the flow of the meeting. Before I continue, I would like to welcome two new commissioners to represent seniors here in the city of Santana. We have, if we can please welcome Commissioner Sylvia Reyes and Commissioner David Dang. Thank you so much for joining the commission and adding your perspective. It's greatly valued. Thank you so much. Will the recording secretary please call roll?
Thank you, Chairperson. Commissioner Nelson. Commissioner Wu.
Here.
Commissioner Diaz.
Here.
Commissioner Reyes.
Here.
Commissioner Dang. Commissioner Torres.
Present.
Chairperson Herrera.
Here.
You have a quorum, Chairperson.
Great, thank you so much. Will you all please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance? Ready, begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, the republic for which it stands. Next on the agenda are presentations for employees of the month, the recipients. And so we have 3 employees of the month for this commission meeting. I'll first start off with Jenny Walker. Jenny Walker is being recognized as a part of the zoo. Jenny started with the city as a zookeeper 1 in 2001 and later moved into progressive roles as a zookeeper 2 and curator. Jenny has a passion for animals and always strives to provide the highest level of care. Jenny has pushed the animal care team in new directions with animal training and animal enrichment. She motivates and coaches new employees, and many past volunteers have moved into new roles at the Santana Zoo and other well-known organizations in the region. Recently, Jenny has been able to navigate some complicated animal acquisitions, like the acquisition of another emperor tamarin, which are not very common in zoos. Additionally, Jenny was involved in a number of complicated medical procedures, including the assistance to the veterinary team with logistics for major surgery on one of the zoo's spider monkeys. Thank you so much, Jenny, for your work and contribution to the zoo and the city of Santana. Commissioner Wu, would you like to read your employee of the month?
Yes, it's Maribel Silva. She's a clerical aide. Though Maribel has been with the city since 2023, it's time that she has worked hard to assist with the zoo group's reservation system and is an essential member of the zoo visitor service team. Maribel has been a sharp eye for improvement and is generous with her ideas and her time. She never hesitates to help out and has been a key to updating the tickets, booth, computer system. Her courtesy, professionalism is matched by her warmth, caring attitude, and her good humor. Makes working with her a true pleasure. In addition, Maribel is willing to take a tough situation and maintain zoo rules and handle emergencies. The zoo is lucky to have her. Thank you very much.
Sorry for the disruption in technology.
We apologize for that.
Sorry for the disruption in technology, as we mentioned earlier. There might be just some. Commissioner Zacarías Torres, Vice Chair Zacarías Torres, would you like to share yours?
Alexis Duran is a program leader and he's been with the city for 3 months. Alexis went above and beyond this summer as a summer splash day camp leader. Not only was he a team player, but he overcame his personal fear of water every week without complaining to better serve the needs of the campers. His quiet insight and care enabled him to connect with the campers that needed it the most. Alexis continues to show dedication and care to whatever project he is working on, no matter the task. We are grateful to have him as part of the team as he continues on his personal journey of self-development and career goals. We know that whatever Alexis chooses to pursue in life, he will go far. Congratulations, Alexis.
Thank you all so much, and it's great to, we have a lot of staff. And so much of our staff really contributes to the quality of life for all of our residents here in the city of Santa Ana. Next on the agenda is a time for public comments. Recording Secretary, does anyone wish to speak?
Thank you, Chairperson Herrera. I'd like to remind the public and those joining us online, if you would like to provide a comment via Zoom, please use the hand feature, and you will have 3 minutes to be able to have your comment. Chairperson Herrera, I did receive a public comment via email from the Santa Ana Healthy Neighborhoods Alliance. The organization participated in the October 18th, 2023 Memorial Park Town Hall meeting. The organization supports the construction of the Memorial Park Aquatic Center to include 2 proposed swimming pools during phase 1. They encourage the city to access additional funding from city resources, including bond measures, grants, and other monies. Chairperson, at this point in time, I don't see any hand being raised for public comments via Zoom. You do have 2 physical comments cards in front of you.
Great. And are you able to forward that electronic communication to the commission?
Affirmative. We will do that tomorrow.
Thank you so much. And we do have 2 speakers here in person. We first have Nina J.
All right, thank you very much for the opportunity to speak. My name is Nina Jarek. I'm with the Washington Square Neighborhood Association. Many of you have seen me up here before, and or my teammate Beth, who's also spoken in front of the commission. I am here on behalf of the desire to have a park in our neighborhood. We've made a lot of progress since last meeting when we were our park proposed desired park was an agenda item. I wanted to get you up to speed. We had a Zoom call with Councilman Hernandez, the property owner, John Fairbrother, the acting city manager, Stephen Mendoza, and 2 of Councilman Hernandez staff. And it was a very, very productive call. We reviewed the lots that are for sale. We identified them. All of them, with the exception of 1, are vacant. The owner of the property has actually agreed that if the city wanted to take that out of the picture, that would be fine. He didn't have to include that in as one of the lots for sale. Or if it was included with the sale, he was willing to actually relocate the renters and demolish the property himself. So that was good news. So the property owner is very agreeable. The owner of the property did bring up the park at 10th and Flower as comps for a price. So we started with that as a discussion. We've later found out that his numbers and the actual numbers are quite different. So we're looking forward to seeing what will come to the table in the end. We left the meeting with some very good information. Our councilman, Jonathan Hernandez, will be contacting Lou Correa, Vincent Sarmiento, looking for funding. He will also be requesting a feasibility study. And all of this in anticipation of mid-year budget numbers. So we're very excited that we've had the attention of various city officials and of course the support of all of you. We're looking forward to where this goes and what we can do to help make it happen as well. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Nina. We have another public comment, Kim M.
Good evening, everybody. Thank you for your dedication, all the time that you put into making Santa Ana a better place to live and to visit. I'm here to talk about the Memorial Park Pool Plan. What a great opportunity we've had the last several months to attend meetings and see the development of the project and the way the staff and the people from the contracting companies have come out to make the presentation. It's been a very, very good process. It's kind of hard to say, wow, you're giving $12 million to this project and somebody's going to complain about it. You know, we had people at our last neighborhood meeting say, well, we should do all or nothing. Well, I'm afraid nothing comes a lot easier than all. If you look at the park and how well it's used, it's hard to think that we're going to have 3 or 4 or 5 years of building a couple swimming pools. $12 million to tear everything out, put in a new rec center or facility there with the one pool. That's great. But then you got to get the money for the second pool. Then you got to develop it and put it in. And meanwhile, part of the park is not being used. You can't, it's behind the construction fence. And then they got plans for, you know, redoing the sporting, the basketball courts and the volleyball courts, put in a pickleball court, amphitheater. Wonderful, wonderful use of that property. But if we can't get more money in there soon, it's going to be a long, dragged out process. There's going to be a lot of kids in the city of Santa Ana that won't really get to utilize that project for a long time because either they can't make it to the kiddie pool or the fun pool to go swimming in, or they're waiting for the speed pool to be put in so they can go play water polo or get ready for the Olympics. So please try to find this some more money. We're going to try to find some more money through whatever we can, get a hold of some of our politicians, and hopefully we can find some more grants. I was looking through your agenda, and boy, the amount of grants you've gotten and the amount of parks you're putting in, that's wonderful. There is one other part to the park or to any city infrastructure. When you put it in, make sure we got the proper amount of maintenance. I really feel that our 5 big parks should have a full-time employee from the moment the park opens in the morning to the time it closes in the evening, because there's nothing there to deter anybody from doing whatever they want to do. Cameras are okay, a phone number to call the security people.
Yeah, 20
that's great.
seconds.
Thank you. But put the money in for the maintenance and make sure the parks are being used. But again, I want to thank everybody for all their hard work. We're at the beginning of a long endeavor, but boy, what a beautiful facility that's going to be when it's complete. Thank you.
Do we have any other comments on Zoom?
That concludes the public comment section.
Thank you all for providing public comment. It's really important for the commission and the city council to hear y'all's vision for the city that we want to live in. And so I continue to encourage you folks online and folks in person to continue to make public comment, and it's very helpful for us. Thank you. Next on the agenda is the consent calendar. Item 1 and 2 are the minutes of the regular meeting of September 28, 2023, as well as excused absences. Do we have a motion to approve the minutes of the September 28th, 2023 meeting and excused absences? Do we have a second?
I second it.
Recording secretary?
Commissioner Wu,
Yes.
Commissioner Diaz,
Yes.
Commissioner Torres,
Approve.
Chairperson Herrera,
Yes.
duly noted.
And our new commissioners were not able to vote on that. That was our last item, but for future items, you will be able to vote on. Okay, thank you so much. Next on the agenda is new business. Tonight we have two items. I will turn this over to Susie Fergenak, our city parks planner. For item 3, which is the Park Services first year accomplishments.
Not Susie, but
Okay.
I'll kick it off. Good evening, Chairperson, Vice Chair, and Commissioners. Points up. So thank you for the opportunity to share the accomplishments and major initiatives that your Park Services Division took on in its first year of existence in Public Works. My name is Mike Ortiz. I'm the Acting Deputy Director of Public Works. I oversee the Parks, Fleet, and Facilities Division. As part of developing the budget in fiscal year 22-23, Council approved the transition of park services from Parks and Recreation to the Public Works Agency. While generally it's not important who performs the service, we felt it'd be valuable to share what this transition means to us and the community. First, I do feel that it highlights council's effort and commitment to prioritize parks in our city. This change pulled additional resources to our parks by having 2 agencies vested and heavily involved in the planning and care of our parks and trail system. Secondly, it allows for us, Public Works, to implement some of those services and processes that have been proven successful in the public right-of-way. Now, with that said, these new or improved initiatives are not possible if not for the hard work of 2 individuals that I have here with me. First, Susie, whom everyone knows and does an amazing job of representing us here at every meeting. She's been with the city for 33 years, 21 with Parks and Rec and 12 with Public Works, back and forth. So she played an essential role in the development and adoption of the Parks Master Plan and currently oversees our newly formed park planning team. It used to be a team of 1. So I'm sure she's excited to share what her newly formed team has been working on for the past year. But first, I'd like to introduce George Acevedo. He oversees our maintenance team. He was our very first hire in Public Works, and boy, did we hit a home run with George. We did. He was a former park facility superintendent with the city of Long Beach, where he managed 116 parks and 21 community centers. So he has a lot of experience. With that said, let me kick it off to George to share what we've done in park maintenance.
Bottom of the ninth. Good evening, Chairperson, Commissioners. Thank you for having us and allowing us to present for you this evening and highlight the great work our Park Services team is accomplishing. But before I get started, I wanted to provide an overview of our park maintenance team. Consists of 28 full-time, 13 part-time, overseeing the maintenance of 54 sites and 370 acres. The Park Master Plan adopted by City Council in May of 2022 had guided our investment by upgrading existing infrastructure, introducing new services, and increasing service levels on existing contracts. In our first year, we focused on upgrading our existing infrastructure by investing in our sports fields, by modernizing our lights to LED sports lighting, providing optimal lighting levels for our youth, adult sports, while reducing our energy consumption by 60%. In conjunction with that effort to provide optimal playing conditions for our sports field, our in-house staff is taking the lead in upgrading the lighting in our citywide basketball and tennis courts. The Park Master Plan prioritizes mental and physical health and the need for well-maintained outdoor spaces for residents to de-stress and exercise. Our new citywide sports courts resurfacing project, which is ongoing, will focus on tennis, basketball, and handball courts. Our youth are a vital demographic in Santa Ana. We introduced a new project focused on replacing the existing playground surfaces with new, smooth, colorful rubber surfacing designed to meet fall zone requirements. In 2023, our recreation team brought our aquatics program back in-house. To support that effort, Park Services procured a new contract for pool maintenance, providing clean, safe water conditions for residents to enjoy. Baseball and softball sports leagues are prominent in Santa Ana. We are committed to providing well-maintained fields and infields. We increased our existing contract service levels to provide laser grading, level playing fields. Centennial and Thornton Lake are a staple of our park inventory. In 2022, we entered into a new lake maintenance contract to improve the water quality, creating a healthy lake for residents, fish, and wildlife habitat. Clean and safe amenities for residents to enjoy are our top priority. The American Rescue Act Plan provided funding to sanitize and pressure wash parks and amenities. Park Services is committed to preserving our urban forest, worth over $30 million, To protect our tree inventories, we've entered into new agreements with West Coast Arborists to grid trim our park trees, extending the life of our trees and beautifying our tree canopies. With the city's investment in artificial fields at the Santa Ana Stadium, Santa Anita Park, Dan Young Soccer Complex, and Campesino Mini Pitch, we have entered into an agreement for artificial fields maintenance to extend the lifespan of the fields and their playability. Last but not least, in 2023, we awarded a new contract to Alliance Security to provide 7 days a week protection to our parks. Overall, we've seen a significant decrease in vandalism and illegal activities, allowing residents to enjoy and recreate in our parks. The 24-hour phone number is on the screen. We encourage residents to call the number and utilize the My Santa Ana app to report any issues. With that, I want to thank our Public Works Director, Nabil Saba, Public Works Deputy Director, Mike Ortiz, our Parks and Recreation Director, Hawk, and the City Council for the continued support and investment in parks. I will now pass it on to my colleague, Susie Furjanic. Thank you.
Good evening, commissioners. It's so nice to see you all. It's been a long time, it feels like. I missed you. Okay, so you all know me. My name's Susie Furjanic. I oversee the park planning team. And with me tonight are my team members, Macy and Victor, and if I could have you guys both stand up and wave. They're both amazing, and it's been amazing having them. It's a dream come true. And I have to say that's probably one of the biggest accomplishments that's happened over the past year, was establishment of this team. So what do? We do a lot. It can be broken down into two categories, current and advanced. Current is more what's happening now. Advanced is more future. Current, we do all aspects of park project design. We do conceptual studies. We help develop plans and specifications for construction. We plan check. We do community outreach campaigns to involve the community and get input as we're designing these projects. We work with our internal client agencies because there's a lot of overlap between what we do and what other agencies internally do. Once a project's under construction, we're involved in that phase. Also, we provide oversight and help work through problems that come up in the field, because they always do. We manage graphics, and we develop and maintain our park standards for our parks. Advanced planning is where we look at determining what projects should be in the CIP. We do individual park master planning. We're implementing the park master plan. That's probably one of the biggest things that we do. Every project requires environmental studies. We get involved in that. A lot of our projects, all of our projects in one way or another, is impacted by the general plan and the open space element. We are involved in that. We coordinate with DRC, which is a committee formed by the planning department. It involves all city agencies. We bring our project, we attend those meetings to keep informed of development that is happening in the city, so that we could advocate for keeping pace, building our park system to keep pace with the folks that we're bringing in. And we also bring our projects to the DRC committee for review. We do grant management. We look for grants. We apply for grants. When we get them, we manage them. Trust for public land. Because we are one of the top 100 densest cities in the United States, we work with the Trust for Public Land. Every year, we provide them with data. So they essentially rate us, and it's a report card for us to see how we're doing. and encourage us to try harder and work harder and see how we compare with other cities across the country. And then the other thing that we do is we manage these cell tower agreements. We have 20 cell towers in our park sites, and they have been around for a little over 20 years. One of the things that we've done over the past year is update the agreement so that we've created a template so that they can all look the same. And now we're going through a process of renewing them all to make sure that we are getting in rent what we can be and should be, as a mechanism to help do whatever we can to bring in revenues. So in the parks master plan is an action plan, and I'm not going to go through this. This is included in the report that we submit every month, and we've talked about this quite a bit. But the one thing that I want to say is of the 12 bullets up there, a third of them relate back to funding and revenues and how to how are we going to finance our projects. It's as we knew, and as we are talking more and more, this is something that really we need to focus on and start and continue conversations about. We have a lot of work to do. It's going to take a lot of money. So we really need to work hard at it. The other third of this action plan has to do with acquisitions, and we all know how important that is too. And that's something else that we have been working very hard towards. Accomplishments. So among the some of our key accomplishments over the past year, we put into place 10 on-call landscape architectural firms. These are firms that are available right away. They've already been vetted. And when a project comes up, we need conceptual studies, we need to develop plans, we need consulting, we need estimating. They're readily available for us. We don't have to repeat the process over and over. It helps us to streamline things. We created an interagency open space forum made up of multiple agencies within the city so that we can start a conversation about how can we acquire more open space? How can we finance? How can we get creative? We created a grant writing team that meets regularly, and we secured a consultant to help us put these applications together. We created what we call the Oh Please team. Open space, parks, libraries, zoos. We wanted to start conversation concerning potential revenue streams, how, tax initiative, bond measures, just a think tank to get us talking regularly. We, as I mentioned a moment ago, we created new wireless facility agreements, and we are advancing projects. We have a lot of projects that are in concept planning. We have a lot of projects that are in design and in construction. And also we are developing standards. We developed a plant palette, we have irrigation standards and site amenity standards. Grants. So one of the wonderful things about having a team now is we can be aggressive in our goal towards going after grants. And our goal is to not let any opportunity get past us. Just within the month of May and June, we submitted 8 grant applications requesting over $15 million. And we've had some successes so far. Our biggest news is that we learned recently that we were awarded $2.2 million through the State Clean California Grant Program to develop the Walnut Street Urban Greening Project. We've also learned that the State Coastal Conservancy is going to recommend us for funding in February of 2024. And this is construction dollars to fund phase 2. We just, had our ribbon cutting for phase 1. We're excited. We love it. We want to keep that momentum going. We have phase 2, which is the section between Main Street and the log cabin. Those plans are 99% complete. We're hopeful that in February, we're going to get some good news. So next year that we can keep those efforts going there. Santiago Park Phase 3, another big project out at Santiago Park. We have design funded by the State Coastal Conservancy. we are requesting construction dollars through the State Habitat Conservation Fund. State's already been asking us questions. They already requested a site visit. That site visit was held. They are very interested. Things are looking good. And then the other grant I wanted to highlight was another straight grant that we requested through the Land and Water Conservation Fund for the new park at 10th and Flower Streets. I think the state has reached out about 8 times with questions to us. They're very interested. Requested a site visit that was held in July. They're going to let us know in the fall, which is anytime between now and December. But we're hoping very soon to get some good news. So here are some projects that we have underway. As I said, we're pretty busy. We have the help of our CIP engineering team with some of these. Going forward, we do all the front end plans and specifications and carry it through bid advertisement, and then we turn it over to our construction engineering division, who executes it for us, but we stay heavily involved while that is going on. But you can see that we have, close to 20 projects that we're either doing concept planning or design, and we've got about a dozen projects under construction. So the next few slides are some conceptuals of some of the bigger projects that we have happening at Santiago Park. I've spoken to you all about the 3 phases that we have going out there. The one we just completed, 2 is the Main Street to the cabin, and the 3rd phase is on the east end. That's a habitat and trail restoration project. This is the new park at 10th and Flower Street. We started community outreach back in May. We've been going to every meeting since. We've developed this site plan. We're going to continue to meet with them and host charrettes with the kids to continue to get input about their skate park and about the artwork that's going to go on the sport court. This was the one that we applied for state land and water conservation funding, that we're crossing our fingers that we're gonna get some good news for soon. Memorial Park, the new aquatics facility and park master plan. This is the next big, super exciting, super needed project. We've had great community outreach over the last few months with the neighborhood, with the schools. We're really excited about what we're hearing and where this is going. It's going to be wonderful. Yes, we have a daunting task. We have the first phase of this will be the new aquatics facility, which is a new building and not 1 but 2 pools, because the decision at the onset of community outreach, we took a look at the pool and should we build like for like, or because we have a really wonderful consultant with a lot of great experience and insight, brought it to us that, maybe we do something a little different. Let me tell you about what some other cities are doing. And that's where the 2 pool concept came from, the fun pool and the fast pool. One is more recreational. It's almost like a step, like a splash pool on steroids, or a splash pad on steroids. But we still have that second pool for that competitive swim and teams and water polo and whatnot. The goal is to do it all. We have half of the funding. We have to roll up our sleeves and look for more funding to make it all happen. But hopefully between our work internally and the continued support of the commission and the continued support of the neighborhood, I'm hopeful that we're going to get there one way or another. Santa Anita Park and Center. So for the past year, the park has undergone a transformation, as we all know, and we are hoping to break ground and get that new community center started within the next couple of months. The plans are just about permit ready, and we're hoping we can move forward before the end of the year. Cypress Fire Station, we're in the process of restoring that facility for use, and we'll be taking it to the Historic Resources Commission next month for their approval. And if all goes well, we will roll right into development of those contract documents. Centennial Lake, major lake renovation happening right now that will not only restore the lake that has needed to be restored for a long time now, but doing it in a way that's a very ecologically, biologically balanced. It's balanced approach. It's when these lakes were designed and implemented years ago, they were treated like giant swimming pools. Now they're looking at them a different way where they can be more there a number of systems within the redesign that are dependent on each other, introducing aeration, building reefs where underwater life can grow, and water movement. And anyway, it's exciting. It's a lake renovation, but it's a very exciting project. And there's going to be a lot to, once it's done, there's going to be a lot of educational value to explaining what all we did. Thornton Lake, we are also gearing up to renovate. We just brought on a consultant to do an assessment and develop the plans for this lake's renovation. And hopefully once we get done with Centennial, we could move on to Thornton. Logan Senna, Shepherd's Park, we're going to do a park master plan that will include rebuilding the community center in the corner. And finally, we are getting ready to do 4 more restroom installations at 4 more parks, similar to the 3 that were completed earlier this year. With that, concludes the park planning portion of this PowerPoint, and I'm going to turn it back to Mike Ortiz so he can speak to the future.
Predicting the future. Thank you, Susie. So on the screen, you see a few initiatives looking ahead, things that we'll be continuing to work on. So I'll leave you with this list in case you have any questions or would like additional information, we'd be happy to share. But I do want to close by saying that none of this is possible without the support of the mayor and the city council. Additionally, the leadership and support that we get from Director Nabil Saba and Director Hawk Scott make this transition seamless as we continue this partnership and attempt to deliver the goals set forth in the park master plan. Thank you.
Do we have any questions from the commission on the presentation?
Yes, I was very impressed with Ed Carruthers. Hopefully I'm not ruining his name, but I was very impressed with the grand opening of it and the skate part of the skate park area, and how it just kind of embraced the community in itself, different grass area that they had and that the families can enjoy in that area. So, and the grand opening was very nice and good presentation to the family that was there. I was very impressed with that. And all the programs that are going on within what Susie is doing within the community. I was very impressed. I really do enjoy going to the opening and seeing the parks themselves.
Thank you so much, Commissioner Wu. Commissioner Diaz.
I do have a few questions and a few comments, but first of all, I want to say what a great presentation. This is something that I was looking forward to. I really wanted to find out and see how was it that the departments were divided, and I'm happy to see that there's now like a parks team in regards to maintenance, and a parks planning and future, and so I'm very happy. But I have a few questions. Okay, so. I see that we have in the parks project underway, perhaps now 6 splash pads. So in the past, it was said that we might only get 2.
I'm happy to see 6 here, but I don't know if this is just perhaps a maybe or.
Thank you, Commissioner Diaz. There was a point in time where funding was allocated for the design of 6 splash pads. Our team moved forward with the design, but obviously with the rising costs of things, we believe that there's only funding identified to actually construct 2 splash pads. And we've been working closely with our partners in recreation to prioritize them and then continue to look funding for additional splash pad locations.
Have you guys considered perhaps receiving different estimates from different other construction companies? That might be, you know, easing on costs or being able to work things out in regards to, you know, adding more with less equipment?
Yeah, so we always value engineer our projects, absolutely. Before we even go out to the public, we're looking at different costs, different options. We always want to put a product out there that will sustain, you know, vandalism and will, you know, last the test of time. So we do feel that we have selected good products, things that are hardy, things that will last, but the costs are just really expensive. I think when the original budget was allocated, it was primarily for the design. So we'll have what we like to call shelf-ready projects, but I don't think by any means early on anyone ever thought that we'd be able to fund all 6 locations. They just identified 6 locations that we can design and work towards building them. So at this point, when we advertise the first 2, we'll get real life pricing as well as what it costs. So if for some reason they do come under budget, now we'll have additional money that we can then use for the 3rd priority, then the 4th priority, et cetera. And then every year we'll continue to go after grants and make requests through the budget process.
At this time, do we have any locations, perhaps, you know, any ideas as to where these 2 splash pads might be installed?
Yes, the 2 priorities were Madison and Thornton Park.
Okay, I just have a quick comment in regards to, depending when they get installed. Someone reached out to me and asked me with the splash pads, would someone be controlling them? Would they all be available only in the summer or, you know, because of the high number of delinquency that we have, and especially in Madison where they stole most of the wire, and because of homeless taking showers or using the splash pads for showers. Would there be some type of mechanism that could, you know, I've seen it somewhere else. I know it's going to be expensive, where the splash comes out from the ground up. You know, the water comes up in the ground.
Yeah, thankfully, there are a few splash pads out now, both locally in the county, that we're going to implement the best practices. So we're definitely going to secure them and program them in a way that it'll be responsible and they won't be as susceptible to vandalism. Things happen, but we are going to implement the best practices to make sure we protect our infrastructure.
My other question is in regards to the Pacific Electric Bike Trail, phase 2. Is this in regards to lights or?
Yes.
Okay. Would it start at Chestnut Avenue?
The limits of that project specifically are Occidental to Warner.
Oh, okay. Is Chestnut in the future, perhaps? Chestnut to McFadden? That's my neighborhood, Pacific Park.
Let us look into that.
Okay.
You're saying there aren't any lights currently?
Yeah, a few years ago, I asked if we can get the new lights replaced to the LED.
Absolutely. We'll look into it and report back to you,
Okay,
Commissioner.
because the other lights were the fluorescent, but kind of like faded away fluorescent. So that. And other than that, you know what, I'm very, very happy. I just wanted to ask you if you know, please, if you can allocate a little bit of funding or find out, you know, Public Works, if you can replace the toilet dispensers in the bathrooms, please. I happen to be in Thornton Park and our toilet, you know, it's visible and I saw blood and then I saw a needle on the floor. So it's concerning. And so I wanted to see if there's any way that the toilet dispensers could be replaced. Like the toilet itself could be covered, the toilet paper, I'm sorry, could be covered. That to me is very important to get that toilet paper dispensers replaced in all bathrooms in the city.
Okay, thank you, Commissioner. Noted, and I'll connect with George Acevedo and we'll follow up with you on that.
That'd be great. Thank you so much.
Vice Chair, Secretary Torres.
Thank you. When would the construction on the splash pads begin?
First, we need to advertise them. Typically, how far are we from advertising? So we're currently at 90% design. So conservatively, if we were to advertise in December or January, it then takes 3-4 months before we can actually break ground. So we're probably talking spring, summer.
I see that, looking ahead, you mentioned security park patrol. Would that be, to replace the park ranger program that we had? Or,
So one of the first initiatives was to enhance security. We did that by bringing in the current vendor. Their name is Lion Security. We're getting a lot of positive reviews, but we haven't lost sight of what the community has asked for on various occasions. They do want to hear about the park ranger program. So we work closely with our partners in rec and the police department. But as we work towards that, the reality is that we currently have Lion Security and there are still needs. What we brought in is not enough. So we'll continue to request more security officers for our 24-hour program to enhance security while still looking ahead and trying to see whether or not it's feasible to bring back a park ranger program.
okay. And, when you're mentioning the grant, phase, is our site visits considered the last step in receiving the grant?
It's close to the end. Typically, they receive hundreds, if not thousands of applications. So when they visit your site, that means you made the short list. So it's very positive news when you get a representative flown in from either somewhere in the country or somewhere in the state. So we always put on our best face for them when they come. We've had people from the community join us on those walks, so they don't just hear from staff, they also hear from the community. So at my recent one, I know Susie attends more of them, but at my recent one on Flower and 10th, it was very positive. We connected with him. I think his family lived in Huntington Beach. He attended Mater Dei. So you get to know them and then they get to know the community because the community stops by and asks, hey, when is the park going to be open? So I think they see that. And the fact that they're putting in that much effort to visit the site and interview us always bodes well for us because the landscape demographic always supports our cause. We're not just asking for money because we're doing something that isn't a priority. They see that we're park deprived and that what we're asking for is a priority for the community.
And then, within, where was that? Replacing our fleet system. Will any of that be using hybrid, like new hybrid technology?
Yes. At a later date, we might have a presentation even to our city council about the new mandates that start on January of 2024, where we're going to have to electrify our fleet. So we are looking at all of our vehicles and equipment and trying to comply with the latest standards. So certain vehicles are available now. So our sedans, we have a lot of Chevy Bolts already, but our large equipment is going to be subject to those mandates as well. So slowly we're developing plans on how we transition that equipment to either electric or CNG. And then, so recycled compressed natural gas, RCNG is the latest technology with that. But we are absolutely looking at all those alternative fuel options as we update our fleet.
Great, thank you.
Commissioner Reyes, do you have any questions or comments?
Not yet. I mean, it's very interesting to me as being the first time here. I have no idea what, a meeting in a council, did. And it's very interesting. I'm sure I'm going to have a lot of questions later on, but I need to process all this. I am very excited though, and happy that I'm part of the Santa Ana, city committee that is going on here, especially where I just joined the senior center. And to me, all this is exciting and new, but I'm sure I will have questions later on, but I am very happy of all that is happening in my city that I love so much.
Thank you so much, Commissioner Reyes. Commissioner Dang, do you have any comments or questions on the presentation for today?
No, I don't know question, but I no idea.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Commissioner Wu, do you have any questions or comments? Great. Thank you so much for the presentation and for your team. It's so amazing at from where growing up here in the city in the 90s, we didn't really have a lot of investment in our park facilities. And so to see that for our families now, it's really great. And so thank you for your team and working so hard to maintain our parks. And in terms of some of the questions that I had, I did go to the Memorial Park reimagining event. And, it was a little sad, to see have the residents kind of debate, which pool, to select from based on the amount of funding that we had. So I will always encourage you to please go out and seek as much funding and, make those requests from the city and around how much we need to continue to invest in our parks, because we have the funding and the funding is there, it's just we need to be able to allocate that. And so I think so much of what your presentation showed is the work since the pandemic and kind of coming back. And I think residents are really getting to see these new amenities and really starting to believe that, hey, believe in our local government, that we can actually make change for local folks. And so I just want to thank you for what you've done, and then also for what we hope to do with additional funding. But with that, I don't have, thank you so much for including the 24-hour security hotline in the presentation. That's something that I do get requested a lot in terms of folks feeling the need to feel safe and safety issues. And so for folks to have that number accessible or report things on the My Santana app, I think is really great for Ward 3 residents. And the vast transformation of Santiago Park, I see the second and third phases. I think that Ward 3 residents are, from what I've been hearing a lot in talking with the residents, is that they really enjoy so much of what's been happening. One thing was that they did let me know was if we could incorporate shade structures in by the restroom area. I know that those are some new facilities, not the new aspects of it, but kind of where the old restroom is. So some of some shading. And so I know residents share that with me, and I realize I'm like, oh God, okay, no, there's a lot of funding and other opportunities where in other parts of our city, they are incorporating shade structures. And so I just let the residents know that that's something that the city is working on, is incorporating more shade structures. Okay, no other questions or comments. Thank you all so much.
Thank you all for your support.
And please take this as an opportunity to also submit employees of the month for park facilities. I think it's very important. A lot of the work, gets done, and it's important for you all. You all are part of our team, and so please highlight those, submit any of those to our executive director for recognition. They get I believe a $10 gift card to Starbucks or some other. Okay, thank you. Okay, great. Next on the agenda is item 4, which is the Parks, Recreation, Community Services Commission calendar of the year. I'll turn this over to Bill Sandoval. Last time we talked about typically in the months of November and December, our Parks Commission meets on holidays. And I really do. As Susie mentioned, it's great to kind of be here and kind of talk about the great work that we're doing. And residents do reach out to us, so it's important to share with the public, and for the public to continue to advocate for issues that are very important for them that we have consistent meetings in November and December. So we had suggested at our last meeting some dates.
Thank you, Chairperson Herrera and Commissioners. At the September Commission meeting, the body chose November 16th and December 7th for the upcoming meetings. In speaking with the clerk of the council's office, the following dates are available for your consideration: November 20th, which is a Monday, or November 30th, which is a Thursday. The following dates are not available in November due to other meetings in the chambers: November 2nd, 9th, and 16th. The 23rd is closed due to Thanksgiving. December 7th, which is the first Thursday in December, is available, which was your choice for December. All other Thursdays are booked for other meetings as well. Now, I will remind the commission that in the past, the commissioners have typically gone dark in December. So for this evening, you do have the choice of, again, November 20th, which would be a Monday, or November 30th. Now, if you do choose November 30th, that'll give us about a week before our next meeting, which will be December 7th. So that's really one meeting and then another meeting. If you choose the 20th, that'll give us about 2 weeks and a couple of days.
Okay. So as you heard, Recording Secretary Sandoval list out some dates for our months, for the month of November, and as mentioned, the other availability is December 7th. Is there any preference from the commission on that availability? Does November? I'm gonna prefer November 30th, if that works for folks.
Yes, that works for me, November 30th, because the 20th, I work on that day. And the 20th is fine. I mean, 30.
The 30th is a Thursday at 5:30. Commissioner Reyes, does that work for you? Commissioner Dang?
What day?
November 30th, Thursday?
Only I go to Vietnam, a vacation, November 28th. Oh, yeah. Oh. Let me Oh, sorry. November 28th, I go to Vietnam. I got vacation 3 weeks. I think I
So
can.
you will be missing. Okay.
Yeah.
And so it works, does it work, Commissioner Diaz? And Secretary Lopez?
I wanna go to-
I like it.
30th
Okay.
works.
I think Recording Secretary, do we need to take vote? I think maybe November 30th seems like a better option. And also mentioned the meetings in December, those Thursdays works. It's just a matter of typically we don't have a meeting in December. Is that what you mentioned?
Typically, in the past, the commission has gone dark for December due to the fact that we are closed when our meetings are supposed to be held.
Is the commission fine postponing the meeting in December for the meeting just November?
Yes, that would be fine.
Yes.
Yes, okay.
Yes.
I think we have then the meeting in November on the 30th and then no meeting in December. And we'll reconvene in January. Okay, is that all the necessary information you needed, Recording Secretary?
Yes, Chairperson, but let's do a roll call, and this is for the November 30th meeting and going dark in December. Commissioner Wu,
Yes,
Commissioner Diaz,
Yes.
Commissioner Reyes,
Yes.
Commissioner Dang,
Yes.
I'm sorry.
Oh, sorry.
no, he's right.
No. I see.
Vice Chair Torres,
Yes.
Chairperson Herrera.
Yes.
Duly noted, the next meeting will be November 30th and we will be dark in December.
Great. Okay. Next on the agenda is informational items, so no action is needed from the commission on these items. However, this is the time for our city staff to provide a brief summary of their reports and for commissioners to ask questions. Also, this is a new format as 2 divisions will present today, while the other 2 divisions will present next month. And so the 2 that we have for this month are Parks and Recreation Staff Report, as well as our Parks and Facilities Report. Can we start with our Associate and Landscape Planner, Susie Ferjanek, to give us our Parks and Facilities Report?
Hello. So I'm not sure we need to go through it as thoroughly as we have in the
Yeah,
past
that would
because
be
we already kind of did that. But the one thing I did want to highlight is that today we hosted a really important tour out at Santiago Park. The State Coastal Conservancy 3 times a year hosts the Santa Ana River Policy Advisory Group meeting. And they recommended that it be held at Santiago or start today with a tour at Santiago Park. So we spent a few hours this morning walking around with all of our Southern California colleagues to show them what great work we've done and are planning to do and build that case for more funding. So the probably only thing I didn't mention in the PowerPoint, but if there are any other questions for us as it relates to planning, park maintenance, do ask and we will answer. If
Great.
there's anything else.
Any other additional? You moved. Any other additional questions from the commission? Yeah, go ahead.
I moved because they say you're not at the meeting. I was like, yes, I am. So I just have a quick question. Do you have a date for the groundbreaking ceremony for the Standard McFadden project?
We're working on that. It most likely will be December.
Okay.
We're looking to start construction in January, so we want to have that right before. So nothing has been set yet, but that's what we're looking at. And we will absolutely let you all know as soon as we do.
Okay. My second question is, have you got or receiving any update in regards to the name that was chosen? Has it been presented to planning or?
Yes, there was a planning commission meeting on Monday night where we did actually quite a lot of work. We amended the general plan, we rezoned, we did a street vacation and renamed the park, or at least presented a name that the planning commission approved and agreed with the recommendation. So the name that was brought forth was Gerardo Moet Park. So that will go on to city council.
I'm very, very happy. Would you be presenting anything in regards to, to his family, like his wife or his daughter, and anything or?
Something.
Something?
Yeah, something.
Yeah, the family will be invited to the park if that name does stand. Just reminder, council can change the name of the park as it has happened in the past. But again, if it is the name of the park, we will invite the family, just as we did with Ed Carruthers.
Well, I definitely would not appreciate it if, excuse me, if council were to do that. I mean, what is the point, excuse me, to invite the public? What is the point of having the community together? Then it's kind of letting the community, we don't care about what you think. I definitely, would come to city council and I would address it because it's not appropriate for them to do that. And if I've done it in the past, shame on you. Because then what is the purpose of having the community together, bring them together and us, putting it on the agenda, shame on whomever changed it. Yes, it could be, it's positive, but I think it's not giving credit to the community for coming together. But thank you, Susie. Thank you so much. And I was gonna second chairperson in regards to getting shade on the playgrounds. Would it be?
It is,
considered?
yes, we do intend to do that.
Okay, yeah, thank you so much.
Vice Chair Secretary Torres.
Good evening. In regards to the park on Standard and McFadden, how soon will the residents be informed regarding the parking situation?
There's a community meeting on the 15th at Kennedy Elementary. And there will be a very robust discussion then.
Okay, thank you. Actually, besides the community meeting, will there be other efforts to inform the residents nearby?
We will be going door to door delivering flyers so that everybody is fully aware and knows that the meeting is happening. We're not going to rely on social media.
Any mailers going out as well?
Like not mailers, but like I said, we will be hand delivering door to door flyers.
Great, thank you.
Any other comments from the commission for Susie? Susie, on the planning commission, you did a great job balancing addressing parks and also the need to keep the area safe in terms of expanding the area for the park. You know, I think that's a very delicate piece. It's like
Very delicate. Yes, it's hard and we are sensitive to what is going to be displaced. But first and foremost, we need a safe place for people to come out. They're not going to come out if they don't feel safe.
So thank you for trying to balance that, and a very, it's a very sensitive issue, but definitely thank you for handling that on Monday. Okay, if there's no other questions, I think you're great, Susie. Thank you so much for your work.
Thank you. It's so good to see everyone. Have a good evening.
And great. Now we will also have our Deputy Director Pagano give a presentation for Parks and Recreation staff report.
Thank you, Chairperson Herrera. Good evening, commissioners, and to our new commissioners, welcome. Just wanted to give a 10,000-foot flyby of what's been going on in your recreation department since the last time that we had a chance to meet with each other. I'll start with seniors, considering we have our 2 senior representatives. We are in the process of hiring 3 full-time drivers to expand our senior mobility program. Currently, there are 167 registered participants that are 60 years and older and are members of either the Santa Ana Senior Center and Southwest Senior Center that participate in this program. Some of the things that the Senior Mobility Program achieves is bi-monthly shopping trips to local markets. They go to social settings and outdoor excursions. They're all being factored into our future planning now that we have our cadre of full-time drivers that are going to be joining our senior services section. Moving on to community education, that section led by Mr. Sandoval has taken over the programming at Garfield Community Center, and future programming includes fitness classes, including yoga, Zumba, and aerobics, and then education classes such as parenting, ESL classes, and Spanish meditation. So be on the lookout for that in the near future. Our community education section also took the lead on the Ed Carruthers Park ribbon cutting ceremony, and they did a fantastic job. So I'd like to recognize their efforts in bringing that park to the community. In addition, our Arts Academy on October 10th at El Salvador hosted 9 participants, and they were working on sugar skulls, very appropriate for the time of the year, and everybody had a great time. Also, our teen excursion program hosted 32 participants, and they went to the Academy of Motion Pictures on their last teen excursion. We are expanding our Kids Night Out program. Historically, it's been held at El Salvador, but this time for the first time, last week, we hosted at Salgado Community Center, and we hosted 30 participants at that event. So we are on our way of expanding that program. It's a very popular program. Over at Jerome Center, our senior commodity box distribution, sponsored by the Community Action Partnership of OC. The program provides nutrient-rich food to low-income seniors. In October, there were over 477 seniors that participated in this program. This Saturday, Spooktacular Open House at Jerome Center. I think a majority of your Parks and Recreation staff is going to be there, including myself, and a special surprise from our executive director. Be on the lookout for him. He's going to be dressed up. From 2 to 5 over at Jerome Park. So you can expect live performances, a haunted house, and also a costume contest. Our health and wellness section, Roosevelt Walker Community Center, There's two new programs that they're debuting, kicking it with the neighbors, which is a drop-in soccer program that takes place on Mondays from 6:30 to 7:30. We've seen great response from the community in that particular activity, as well as the hoop out and shoot out drop-in for basketball, same time 6:30 to 7:30. And again, great response from the community there. I'd like to bring to your attention that they are going to be hosting their Magic of the Altars for the Dia de los Muertos celebration at Roosevelt Walker on Wednesday, November 1st from 4 to 7 p.m. In addition, our community garden program is taking off with expanded programs and new partnerships. Some of the numbers that I've seen which are in your report demonstrate how popular our community garden programs are becoming. And a couple of programs, signature programs that I'd like to bring to your attention. Tomorrow, Friday, October 27th, is the El Salvador Park Garden Harvest. I know that we're working with the Artesia Pilar Neighborhood Association on that. And then throughout the month of November, we're going to be having our pumpkin smash, which basically takes all old jack-o'-lanterns and creates mulch out of them. And that helps our gardens throughout the year. So if you have any leftover jack-o'-lanterns and you want to donate them to your local garden, we'll be looking for those. In addition, our health and wellness section led by Supervisor Rudy Hernandez and his team, they led the Santiago Park grand opening on October 3rd. A really great turnout for one of our biggest parks in our inventory. In addition, we provided open house tours to our eco center, which I think is close to being opening relatively soon. And also our newly refurbished lawn bowling center, which I would like to thank our parks maintenance team in assisting us with. That is going to be debuted as our first rental venue. And we are very excited about that. Tables and chairs are in. New refrigerator, new stove. So in addition to hosting Santiago Park Neighborhood Association meetings, we will be opening up for small gatherings that we'll work with the community on to provide an economical space for them to utilize for celebrations and such. In addition, our rec mobile, which is now, I believe, in fleet and being inspected and outfitted and all that type of stuff, it's in. And so now we're just waiting to receive it so that we can start utilizing it to start activating our park spaces, like Ed Carruthers and Santiago, and in the future, Standard McFadden Park site. You know, one of the things that we're making a big effort on is that when we activate these we open these new park spaces, we want to make sure we're activating it with programming as well, so that we encourage the community to come out to take over that space, to fortify that space, so that much to what Susie's talked about in her presentation, we're making it a safe space for the community to enjoy just beyond the ribbon cutting or the groundbreaking. So that's something to be on the lookout for as well. Our reservations office in the month of October completed over 1,000 permits, 1,036 to be exact. In athletics, our flag football is currently in season. Our youth flag football is currently in season. Boys youth basketball is now open for registration. And we recently crowned our first adult basketball league champion. So that was very exciting to be able to give that to the adult population of the community in terms of athletics. Aquatics, there's been much talk about it. We decommissioned the Memorial Park pool after 63 years on October 21st, and we're very excited for the potential of what that aquatics facility can be for the community in the future. Memorial Park has always been our flagship aquatics facility, and we intend to make it our flagship once we're done with construction and everything. And we're hoping, and not to put any pressure on anybody, but sometime in the fall of 2025. Community engagement, we have surpassed our 5,000 followers in Instagram, which I think when we first created the community engagement section, it was roughly around 2,100. So they've done a good job in increasing our exposure and our awareness to our community over the last year. And since the inception of our sponsorship and partnership policies, They've been able to receive over $24,000 in sponsorships and financial sponsorships, as well as quite a lot of in-kind sponsorships as well from like Telemundo and other agencies like that. So they're doing a fantastic job there too. To wrap up, in terms of special events, we had our Mid-Autumn Festival on October 7th at Centennial Park. We had over 6,000 people join us for that celebration. It was great, our second year doing it, and I think we're just going to keep on growing and growing with regards to that event. And special events is currently preparing for Plaza Navideña, which is scheduled for November 18th. Winter Village is back for the third year, and that will take place from December 2nd to the 31st. Some special events within that special event. We have our tree lighting ceremony on December 2nd, breakfast with Santa on December 9th, and our Power of One Foundation, which is a partner of the Parks and Recreation Department. Their toy drive will be taking place December 16th. And then save the date for our Tet Festival, which we're collaborating with the library, will be taking place on February 3rd. And with that, I will close my comments and I'm available for any questions that you may have at this time.
Any questions for our Deputy Director Pagano? Commissioner Diaz?
First, great job on all the events. Second, I'm very happy to hear that the Instagram page is always active, and I love to see it that way. I wanted to ask in regards to the Winter Village, are we gonna have the ice skating again?
Yes, the ice skating rink will be the center point of the Winter Village again. Yes.
Okay, costs.
Cost will remain the same. So I think last year it was a even amount. So for Santa Ana residents, I think kids were $5, adults were $10. For non-residents, I think it was 10 for kids and then 15 for adults. So those are remaining the same price point.
Costs for the city, like I
for
remember
the
last year
city?
was about one
Sure.
point something.
So when we budgeted, we asked for about 1.3 and we were granted that. Because we recognize that there are some challenges with the ice rink, specifically around weather. I mean, the time of the year, it's unpredictable. Last year we had a very wet weather, which completely eliminated a lot of our activation days and everything. So we're trying to be a little bit more intentional in terms of this year. So the way that we're structuring the operational hours, you're going to be seeing it more during Wednesday evening through Sunday evening. And then we're holding Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday for like holiday parties, for school trips, for corporate, parties and all that type of stuff. So that will be on as needed basis. So if anybody was interested in having an ice skating block of time, they would contact our special events office, and then we would mobilize to make sure that there were staff from the ice rink that were on site and also staff from PRCSA that would be there as well too. So we're adjusting our operational hours so that we're a little bit more lean and mean rather than having just a full operation Monday through Sunday throughout the whole entire week. And, one of the things that we recognized last year, there was a lot of downtime, and you could feel it too, which, again, one of the things that we recognize is that with the ice rink, there's some areas of opportunity, especially with where we've placed it. It's probably the best location for us in Santa Ana, considering all the different energy and utility needs that we have in terms of power that we have there. And we're having to recreate new customers. As much as we all love Santa Ana, it's not where it's like an ice rink on the beach, right? And you would go there year after year after year. For us, it's kind of like a singular experience. And maybe you can bring the family out, a couple times, but we're having to create new customers throughout the 3 years that we've been here. And that's kind of, you add in the weather, then you're seeing a decline in the participation and everything like that. So in terms of the cost, we have tightened that up a bit. I think in our last council meeting, we were in the area of about $800 and something thousand for installing the ice rink. And we expect to spend a little bit more in terms of the programming aspects. We have the light show that's coming back. We're bringing back the tree to Civic Center Plaza. There is an update on Plaza Navideña. There will be a real tree down in Plaza Navideña this year as well too. So we're trying to find ways to obviously get our return on investment for the amount of money that was allocated to us by City Council.
Okay, because I'm gonna be honest with you. I've been there for the past times that we've had it. And it's, it's hardly anybody attends.
Sure.
So I see like 800,000 could be better reinvested in many of the areas of the parks instead of having the rain. So as much as I like skating, much as I enjoy it, but I see reality. And I see that, attendance is very poor and it's 800,000. I see the money and I see the need. So I would rather have it invested somewhere else in our parks.
Understood.
But let's give it one more time to give it a try. I know you guys put together great events. But I look forward to attending, and if it doesn't work, then I think we should allocate that funding for something else. Thank you.
Of course.
Any other comments from the commission? Commissioner, Vice Chair?
Good evening. When, in regards to the lawn bowling building, when will that be available to be reserved on the reservation site?
So we just received our tables and chairs this week. So we're in the process of moving one of our supervisors. Our health and wellness supervisor, Rudy Hernandez, is now going to be officing over there. So we're mobilizing, we're getting everybody in place. And I would think that for us, a timeline that would be probably pretty good would probably be towards the end of the year, although I think we'd get a lot of reservations just because it's a really nice venue and everything. I may ask Rudy to delay it to the beginning of 2024, just to make sure that we have everything in place and we're ready to go and to receive the reservations that we feel like we're going to get, because I'm on social media. I look at the neighbors of Santa Ana. There's constantly, where can I have a baby shower? Where can I have, wedding anniversary, celebration and all that type of stuff. And for us, we're not going to make it available throughout the entire week. Primarily our rental opportunities will be Friday evening, all day Saturday and all day Sunday, and we'll break it up in blocks of time so that we're hoping that we can turn over, on the long days on Saturday and Sunday, maybe have two opportunities, a morning time and an evening time opportunity for our residents. So I would say January 2024, but I could be surprised. Rudy may tell me that he's ready to go and we can start making it available sooner than later.
Great. And in regards to the Winter Village, I haven't been to the ice skating rink, but I'm looking forward to going this year, and I'm looking forward to Santa Ana residents having it become a winter tradition to go to. Do we sell food concessions? And does any of that go back to the city?
We do have food trucks that are out there and Raspados that also take part in the event. In terms of money coming back, we may take a percentage of the food trucks, but because it's such a weird time and it's a location that has areas of opportunity, normally we try to work with our food trucks to kind of just get them in so that there is a food opportunity for our folks that are coming in and skating and everything. I can find out that information on how we're proceeding this year and get back to you to see if there's any revenue that's coming in from that.
I would like to state that you brought food up, that I've been there a couple of times, and you need to have kind of a coffee truck of some sort. I did not see that.
Sure.
Or some of the chocolate drinks, I think goes along with those. Yeah.
Coffee vendors are very hard to come by, especially during the winter time.
I was going to ask,
Some kind of hot drinks
Sure.
of that sort, and I didn't see that to entice people to be there. So
Sure.
thank you for bringing that up.
I was going to ask if there's any way that we could collaborate with any of our local coffee shops that we have here in Santa Ana. I can think of two off the top of my head that maybe we could collaborate with, and they could be able to serve coffee, hot chocolate.
Sure, we would love to. Yeah, absolutely. And, I know of about 2 or 3 off the top of my head that we could reach out to. So we'll make an effort to reach out to them and see if we can incorporate them into our event space.
Great, thank you.
Thank you.
The Winter Village is a fun event and I went to go last year to see folks and I do agree with the attendance, and I think it's but the weather was very poor last year. I do remember a lot of cancellations because of the rain. And so I think to the extent that if there does rain again, I think that experience of like a refund or, I think that technical stuff it would be easier for folks that it's like, dang, okay, I'll come back next week or whatever.
Sure. Yeah, and we have that all in place, if we have a weather forecast that is indicating, rain, 24 hours in advance, we send out, we have the ability through our registration software to send out notification to all those that are registered to let them know that they can choose to either get a refund or to choose another date at a later date and time if it's possible. So.
That's great. That's great.
Mhm.
I think something that's kind of on my mind, and I did get reached out to in relationship to the park permits. Folks are already interested in at Santiago Park looking at utilizing the gas house and the amphitheater area. And so they were commenting to me and I was like, well, okay, I don't know, hopefully they, so I think to the extent that we may be updating our website and maybe that's something we can bring back at a later meeting, is a discussion on the permit process. Kind of, I think if we just walk through, hey, this is how you submit a permit for requesting this area and this is the cost. I think I did get asked and I didn't know the answer. So that would be helpful.
Sure. Yeah, we can definitely do that. We were deciding where the actual reservation process would land. The initial thought was to keep it with the lawn bowling center because we will have a supervisor out there. And the thought is, let's say we're having a reservation at the lawn bowling center, we could potentially see, hey, we want to use the amphitheater and the gas house too. But because there are amenities that are currently in the park, namely the cabin that is already under our reservations office, we folded it under our reservations office. So it would just be a little bit more streamlined. The other part of that is because these amenities are brand new, we have to price them accurately. And because we have a miscellaneous fee schedule, we didn't really incorporate that into the fee schedule this year. So we're trying to figure out, do we charge along the lines of a Plaza Calle Cuatro because it's an open space, it kind of has the same feeling, but is that necessarily appropriate? So those are the discussions your staff is having right now. And we're trying to figure out where we land on that so that we do make it inviting, for the short term while we're going through the budget development process, but we're going to have to change those through the budget development process and institute those fees. So it's kind of like cart before the horse type thing. So we're trying to figure that out so that we can at least get, the interest and, the community reserving them for whatever they want to do. We just got to find out all those back end, administrative details. So, but we can definitely have that conversation at a future meeting and everything.
No, that's any way we can make these facilities accessible to the public is always great. And especially our Santana residents, I know I was there doing a park cleanup and folks were coming out of town using our parks. And I'm like, oh, that's great. But I would really probably, worthy residents, Santana residents have waited long enough for, these renovations. And so to the extent that, hey, we're making it easy for them to access and make sure our residents keep our parks clean. I think that we've invested so much in these things and, everyone needs to do their part. Okay, I think that's it. Thank you so much, Deputy Director. And next on the agenda are commission comments. So this is the time for you all for each of the commissioners to provide comments if you wish, but it's not required. We'll start off with the senior representatives, Commissioner Reyes. This is the time for you to just share anything in relationship, any questions you may have in relationship to staff that wasn't already covered in the agenda, or you can just say, you all are doing an amazing job.
Okay. Well, yeah, everyone's doing an amazing job. I think I want to make a comment regarding the Southwest Senior Center that I recently joined. I originally, I knew they existed, obviously, but I wasn't sure what they did, in there. I thought it was just for very, very, very old people. So when a friend of mine told me to go, my first impression was what I expected, people coming in walkers and canes and wheelchairs. And I thought, oh, this is not for me, not yet. However, I didn't want to be rude, so I stayed for the interview. And while I was there, I heard commotion in one of the rooms. And so when I went to see and I saw what they were doing and, and I thought, oh, wow, this is totally different. It's a great place. These places are great for retirees. My plan was to retire and join a belly dancing class somewhere, go to casinos or whatever. But my friend said, go there, go check it out. The staff there is wonderful from day one. I felt very, very good there. And not just physically, the physical activity, but also mental. And I see now, I've been there 6 months, and I see a lot of people there are very lonely, and to be there, have coffee in the morning and socialize a little bit. It's a big, very important for some people. That's all they have, the lunch that they provide is what they eat with others, instead of alone. And so, the parties that they have for us once a month are amazing. Myself, I'm part of the folkloric dance group that we joined. I never thought that at 65 almost I was going to be part of that. But it's the senior center is a place that everybody should know about, once we retire, and it's a wonderful. However, there's shortage of staff always. So, sometimes there's periods of times where there's nothing to do because they don't have anybody else. Me, because like in Spanish, I'm a metiche, I volunteered to go serve coffee or, because the rest of the staff are busy. So a friend of mine, let's do this. Let's go serve coffee and tea because there's a big line and there's no one available. So we, try to help. But I see that we do need more staff there. So maybe in the future, we can have a little bit more funding. I would also like to see maybe provide breakfast for those who are, alone and, they're there. Some people stay there from 8:30 all the way until they close because that's their only place to be. So I'm very happy that these places exist and maybe focus a little bit more on providing more for them. I mean, I know they have transportation some days, not every day, but I think we need more of that for us, for our elders. So thank you.
Thank you so much, Commissioner Reyes. I think it's really great that you're bringing that perspective. And, if this is an area of interest for you to share those, hey, we need more programming, talking to the seniors there at the center and bringing it here to the commission to share with staff.
Yes, we actually, a lot of us, because I know that on Santa Ana Senior Center, I've heard they have Tai Chi, I think, and then so we want that in our Southwest Senior Center. Also, we were some people want salsa classes, and I see people in canes dancing. They like it. They love music. So we need more programs like that. For everyone to enjoy.
Thank you. Your comments are very valuable to staff. Commissioner Dang, do you have any commissioner comments?
Yes, but when I live Riverside and I moved to Santa Ana about 2 years, but I go to senior center next door, but I like it. Every day I come to exercise. I have the lunch and I talk with a lot of people. And I learn more because I knew and I don't know how to say, but I try to meet anybody and talk with them. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you both, really bringing a new life to the commission. Next, we have Vice Chair Zacarias Torres, representing Ward 2.
I just want to echo the same sentiment about how much our parks have improved. I remember seeing kids playing on the side of the grass on the bike trail because there was no park at Pacific Electric. And now seeing all of the families walking around Santiago Park when they were unsure of how it was going to be after opening and doing all the remodeling. I see a lot of families out there in the evening, so it's definitely activated. I'm really glad that we're doing all of these efforts to try to bring ourselves up from that lower position that we were in our rating for parks. Due to the size of our density, I think we've definitely made great improvements over the last year. There's so many changes that I'm just in awe of. I'm so glad that we have so many people that really care about the city and that are really trying to make the city that everyone deserves to live in. So thank you.
Thank you so much, Vice Chair. Next, we have Commissioner Wu, representing Ward 5.
Yes, I guess everybody's asking for the things in their ward, in their area. Mine is a ward of 5. And one of the things that we were asking for, everyone here, I heard about shade structure. So I wanted to get in there. And El Salvador Park, if you're there at the swimming pool, the parents can't sit in the patio. They have to hide under the bushes because it's so hot with the cement that's going on. And that's one of the things I would like to see and work on, and how we can work on that too. I just want to also thank the staff Bill has worked very nicely with me with putting events together at the park, and the Harvest Festival is one of the things I really enjoy, giving out the pumpkins and seeing the kids decorate them, and it's really very cute. Not the big pumpkins, we buy small pumpkins because we have small children of 5, so I really like that. That is one of the things that the Artesia Pilar neighbors like working with the park and using it. Also, another thing that I've noticed too is that we're kind of in the bottom of the list of the splash pad, and we've had an empty area and never knew what we could do with it. But one thing is that I was so glad that you could use a splash pad in that empty area because it was a small pool at one time. So I would love it to relive again. And kids, there's a lot of kids who don't swim, so I can see why Memorial Park is having both the dance pool and then the splash pad, because some kids really want to go in there, but they get scared because I do believe the Memorial Park was quite deep, and the smaller kids or kids who didn't know how to swim would not get in the pool. So that would be really great. So I think I just wanted to present some of the issues that Ward 5 would like to see improved in our community, but otherwise the programs that you guys are presenting and all the funding that is needed to provide for that. And of course, it's important for the maintenance. And I'm glad to see the new security people that are going to be there. And is the security hotline posted at the park and identified? So I'll be checking the park myself for that. So thank you very much for the things you do.
Commissioner Wu, the security number and all our new park signs that we've been putting up, the brown ones, has a security number on there as well as other useful numbers you can use. So if you want to let the residents who are listening know, we have all the numbers. We even have the Santa Ana QR code up there for you. If you don't have it, you can get to it. And then of course, there's a parks information QR code in there. So they're big, they're brown, they're reflective, they're awesome.
Thank you.
We also have Commissioner Diaz for the mayor representative.
Sure knows. I want to first welcome you both to, to our meetings. I am super excited that we have a voice for our seniors. My parents are also seniors and they're always looking for things to do. And so with you bringing up here, the different ideas, I'm really, really happy that you guys are here.
We'll join one day.
Yes.
And it's like I said, it's not just for your workout. I mean, I go and work out and that's how I thought I was all I wanted. But there's many just the
vibe, the people.
Yeah, and not just that, but like I said, those that are alone, they live alone, that's their lives, there, and it's a wonderful feeling to be with others, and have friends or play pool or they have a pool table or they pay dice in loteria. So, it's fun. So hopefully.
So we're looking forward to seeing some senior programs at the Cypress Tree Fire Station. That was one of the requests of many of the residents who attended the meeting and gave out input. Many of the seniors that attended the meeting really wanted to see senior activities at the Cypress Tree Fire Station. So I'm looking forward to, seeing that happening since we have a lot of seniors that it's very difficult for them to walk to the other side of town. So welcome both. I also want to thank city staff for putting together all the events. But you guys, you guys deserve like an applause for the Fiestas Patrias. Okay. The event planning, everything was great. I love the location and I'm going to tell you why, because it's not, it's not on the main street, like on Main Street. It's actually, it has different areas for food and bathrooms. So I'm looking forward to next year's and hopefully it expands a little bit more. I do want see more food. Hopefully next year we moved, one more street to around the stadium. But it was a great event planning and it was a lot of people attended. I go to every single one so I can remember. But this one by far is the best Fiestas Patrias that I've attended. So now we were talking about shades. Oh, absolutely, yes. The parade too, regardless if it was just a few months of planning and coming together. Yes, I want to suggest you do some type of gala prior to the Fiestas Patrias, like a gala night. Of course, we're gonna have sponsors the tables, $10,000 for one table, 10 people, perhaps. Telemundo. But see, that would be another way of being able to gather a little bit of more funding for the city, for the projects, for city events, because you need additional funding for decorations and balloons. And so, okay, so we were talking about shades, right? The gas house, he has the tables outside. Is there any planning in the future to kind of have some shade over those tables?
We have planning we want to put shade at all our parks, all our playgrounds, all that thing. But again, it's going to take for that available funding to come into effect. So, every budget, we are always asking for extras, and our planning team and our Parks Maintenance team, we do try to prioritize that. So we're planning all these new parks, we are including the shade structures with the parks.
Okay.
So that is something we're doing. So have you guys saw the design for Standard McFadden, Standard McFadden, 10th and Flower, you saw the shade structures. So like I said, when funding is available, we are going to try to, put shade over everything we can. So again, it's also available funding. So, we're working on it.
Great job. I truly appreciate everything you guys are doing. And so, with that, I just have a small comment for Public Works. Can you please tell your drivers not to drive on the grass? To please park and, if you have to carry something, perhaps provide them with an extra dolly or because, if you damage the grass and then it costs a lot more money to fix the grass. And I saw that happening at Memorial. So other than that, thank you so much. Thank you all for being here today, for giving us updates and for always staying positive. And, I've seen a great improvement in parks, a great improvement in lots of your departments. And for that, I'm very happy and I'm honored to be here and help as much as I can. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Commissioner. Okay, I think to close off, for my commissioner comments, I wanted to just mention, that we have the year of Parks and Facilities here and Public Works. Maybe thinking about next year for Earth Day. I know you all did a tree planting event this year, and so it was great to see that. And I think if we can continue to add more trees, or think about like a tree planting event on Earth Day, it's in April of 2024. So just wanted to throw that out there. Maybe you can do that. And the other comment I'll say is, just thank you to our new commissioners, and it's great. Please feel encouraged to, we have our library, we have our zoo, we have our physical parks and the programming on our parks. And so to the extent that any of you are involved in a little oversight of those items, our staff really appreciates that. So please continue to get involved. And also, lastly is that there's a November 14th special election. Voters in Ward 3 have received their ballot. So to the extent that folks go out and vote, it's important for folks to have their voice be heard. So don't forget about the special election on Tuesday, November 14th. And with that, I'll hand it over to our executive director for your comments.
Disappointed you're so quiet tonight, Roberto. Usually have a bunch. I just want to iterate what you guys see. And like when I first came aboard, that, big things are coming, changes are coming. And these people you see right here in front of you are a big part of that. And, I applaud them every day for what they do. And I hope you guys see that. And we're still not going to stop. We have big plans, big dreams, ideas. And, you guys help us. Our community helps us. It's been a great, relationship with everybody. So, thank you guys for your support. The only comments I have, we can get out to Birch Park and we see the end of Poltergeist. It is our last movie series. So if you guys get a chance, that'll be wrapping up. I know it's a longer movie. One thing I saw Susie was on a thing. We were happy to this week. We opened up 2 more turf fields there at Dan Young that have the Musco, because Tim loves them so much. The Musco lighting. It's an inside joke. But again, we opened up, so we had it in our field with, LED lighting. And again, it's part of our, Go Green initiative here in the city. That's great. And, we're also, happy to add 2 more fields that can be used year round, with weather and stuff like that. So we're excited to do that. Other than that, we are grateful for our friends at Public Works that do, a lot of the lifting out there with us in the parks maintenance, and, of course, Tim and of course, Ethan there. We're excited that we got some good changes coming at the zoo. So be tuned for that. Some exciting news. We do have Boo at the Zoo this weekend. So if you guys get a chance to go out there, it's a lot of fun. They had some great crowds this past weekend. So do that. And then, like I said, Deputy Director Pagano said, we will have the 2 live trees coming back that are both 35 feet tall, so that's gonna be exciting. So, out there at, Playa Cuatro, and then out here at Plaza of the Sun, we're gonna have some great events. So other than that, thank you guys for what you do. Mr. Dang, Commissioner Dang, Commissioner Reyes, welcome. Hope we didn't scare you. But we look forward to having you guys here and being a part of this. And, commissioners, thank you guys so much for everything you do.
Thank you so much, Executive Director. With that, this is the conclusion of the meeting. Meeting is adjourned at 7:28.